Good morning. Welcome to the Washington UU Worship Collaborative. This is an endeavor for the month of July by 4 UU congregations in Washington: Northlake in Kirkland, Olympia, Pasco, and Saltwater in Federal Way. You can find more information about the 4 congregations at the links in the chat. It's great to see all of you today, whether you're joining us here at Olympia or online. I'm Jo Celine, OUUC Media Specialist. I use ze/zere pronouns. Welcome to all who are joining us on whatever platform you are using. This service is being streamed live on Zoom, it's being recorded, and it is streaming live to YouTube. We use the Zoom chat feature for greetings, song lyrics, affirmations and applause, and items shared from the heart. The chat is not posted or shared publicly. If you are online and experience any technical issues during the service, you can reach out to me at the OUUC Sanctuary account or another member of the tech team for assistance when the chat is on. For those of you here on site in the sanctuary, please turn the volume off on any devices you have. And please also note that you can see people online and view the chat and the subtitles at the screen in the front of the room. We ask that you please keep your mouth and nose covered by your mask while you are here. And for those online, I hope you will find a candle or a chalice, and in a moment we can light them together. We appreciate your grace. As we all remember, it's about connection, not perfection.
Good morning. Let's sing together. Hymn number 1018, Come and Go With Me. If you're online, you can find the lyrics for the song posted in the chat. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit, and let's sing together.
Washington UU Worship Collaborative that includes North Lake and Kirkland, Olympia, Pasco, and Saltwater and Federal Way. Each Sunday in July, one of these congregations will offer the worship service for all of us to attend. Today's service is hosted by Olympia. Next Sunday's service will be led by the Pasco Community UU Church, featuring a message from their minister, Reverend Monica Jacobson Tennyson. And a quick reminder for the Olympia folks, worship services this month begin at 10:30. We'll return to our usual 10 a.m. services in August. My name is Ann Radford. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a member of Olympia's worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is our OUUC minister, Reverend Mary Gear, Emmy Allen, worship arts team member, Troy Fisher, our music director, and Reverend Sarah Lewis, the director of community and faith development. No matter where you are joining from or how, you are welcome here. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. with all the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. Whether you come feeling whole, feeling broken, or anywhere in between, you are welcome here. If you are here for the first time or the 1000th time, you are welcome here. No matter how long you've been away, nor how soon you will return, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and welcoming hands. We're so glad you're worshiping with us today. Please stay after this service to join a breakout room to meet each other and discuss the service. Just stay online. We're grateful for the many hands that have helped make worship happen this morning. Now, let us open our hearts and our minds as we prepare for worship. It is good to be together.
I'd like to give a land acknowledgement. If you want to feel the space beneath your feet, wherever you are, and ground yourself in that space. As we gather in virtual space, as communities united by one Unitarian Universalist faith, we pause to call to mind the people whose land our congregations physically occupy. The lands of the Coast Salish people, specifically the Duwamish, Puyallup, Nisqually, and Stichas people, who are now the Squaxin Island tribe. People who were sustained by these lands and are sustained by these lands and waters long before the contact of colonialism. And on the east side of our state, in the Tri-Cities, we call to mind the people of the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation, specifically the Cayuse, the Umatilla, and the Walla Walla tribes. In this acknowledgement, we affirm a respect for the self-determination and sovereignty of the modern-day members of these tribes and commit ourselves to seeking right relationship. This morning and every Sunday morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. Please join us as we light our chalices together with these words adapted from Tracy Bleakney. This chalice burns with twin flames. The first flame burns for those who seek and defend the right to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, so that each person may live according to conscience in a democratically elected society.
The second flame burns for the defenders of freedom, working against those who would impose their own religious beliefs on others through intimidation or legislation. May we tend this fire always, ever vigilant and courageous in the struggle for freedom and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome. I'm the Reverend Mary Gear and I use she, her pronouns. Our opening words this morning are adapted from those written by Reverend Nancy Reed McKee, minister for the North Lake UU in Kirkland, one of the congregations represented here today. Reverend Nancy wrote this at the beginning of the pandemic. Our community knows no boundaries. We are not confined by the physical limits of walls, or for that matter, of what often binds us, restricts us, holds us back. We are freer than we know when we release ourselves and each other from expectations of what is needed for true community. We are here together in space, I see you. I hear you. I love you. And we lit these candles, a beacon of our community, holding us all together here, now. Come, let us worship together.
As part of that worship, let's sing together. Hymn number 1074, Turn the World Around. This is Harry Belafonte. If you're online, you can find the lyrics posted in the chat. As the song goes on, Harry throws at us a word that we don't know, abatiwa. Just going to have you say that after me, abatiwa. And then eventually ask us to go abatiwa ha. Try that. Abatiwa ha. One more time. Abatiwa ha. Now you have permission to do that when we get there. All right? I invite you to rise in body and spirit, and let's sing a little calypso together. Here we go. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. Ah, so is life. Oh, so is life. Ah, so is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do we know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Oh, so is life a patiwa. So is life. Oh, so is life a patiwa. So is life. Water makes a river, river wash the mountain. Fire make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain. Spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the Spirit, truly of the Spirit. Only can the Spirit turn the world around. Oh, so is life a patiwa. Ah, so is life. Oh, so is life a patiwa. Ah, so is life. Oh, so is life a patiwa. Ah, so is life. Oh, so is life a patiwa. Ah, so is life. Nice job, thank you.
So it was a beautiful summer evening for this story. It was a lovely time, in fact, that wonderful, perfect time right between supper being over and it being time to go to bed. That time where the fireflies start to come out one at a time, when you can just run around outdoors and it's the golden light of the end of the day. And at that time, 3 children went out to play. "What shall we play?" asked Tabitha, the oldest of the 3, by 4 months and 2 days. "Well, I'd like to play tag," said Alex. "Well, I'd like to play hide and seek," said Sheena, the youngest of the 3. "Well, tag," said Alex. "No, hide and seek," said Sheena. "Tag, hide and seek, tag," until Tabitha said, "Stop it. I know how we can make a decision. Let's vote. We can even get secret ballots and write it and have a ballot box, the whole thing." So Tabitha ran back into her house, and she came back out with pencils and paper and a shoebox with a slit cut in the lid. And Sheena very carefully wrote hide and seek and folded up their piece of paper and put their ballot in the box. Tabitha and Alex had already voted. And then Tabitha opened up the box and counted. Tag, hide and seek, tag. It's 2-1, tag wins. Okay, said Sheena, and they all happily played tag until it was time to go to bed. Then the next night, they voted again, and tag won again. And then the next night, and the night after, and after that, and then after that, tag won every night. It's not fair, said Sheena. Well, we voted, said Alex, and it was true. They had voted, and they lived in a democracy, and so voting was the way that they made decisions. Still doesn't feel fair, said Sheena. And when the next night came around and tag won again, Sheena said they weren't going to play. Come on, said Tabitha. It's no fun to play tag with just 2 people. Well, it's no fun to play tag at all, in my opinion, said Sheena. I'm tired of playing tag all the time. I'm just going to play by myself. Well, at that, Alex looked at Tabitha. Tabitha looked at Alex. They both looked at Sheena, who mostly just looked sad. And then Alex said, I have an idea. How about instead of voting, we take turns? Take turns? Asked Sheena. Yeah, said Alex. So what if we play tag 2 nights, because there's 2 of us that like tag, and then we play hide and seek 1 night, because there's 1 of you that like hide and seek? Yeah, said Tabitha, getting excited about this idea. In fact, we can play hide and seek for several nights in a row because we haven't played it at all yet. That sounds great, said Sheena. I'm going to go hide. And so on that wonderful, glorious summer evening, in that magic time between supper and bedtime, when the fireflies come out 1 by 1, they all 3 happily played hide and seek until their parents called them in for the night. This ends our story. Thank you.
We came together this morning bringing all that is in our lives. In this space, we share from our hearts what brings us joy and sorrow, and what brings us worry and delight, what makes us afraid and what makes us dance. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water, stones holding the complexity into the water of community. You will hear a drumbeat as we share today. It brings into our awareness that our hearts, our individual hearts beat, and together we create the heartbeat of community. So right now, I invite us to just take a deep breath together. And let's open our hearts to receive the complexity of all that is in our communities today. Here is some sharing from the OUUC community this week. Karin Landsberg shares that she was not able to get medical clearance to serve in the Peace Corps, much to her disappointment. She is glad that she tried to follow this dream of service and is looking forward to some travel adventures this summer. Karin, we share your disappointment and wish you well in your adventures whatever they may bring. Liz Clement shares that she and her son are getting ready to expand their family for the coming school year. In August, they'll welcome their very first exchange student, 15-year-old Stefan from Bulgaria. They also welcome any time, friendship experiences, insight, or anything else that our community members might be able to offer in order to enrich Stefan's time here in Olympia. Liz, may this expansion of your home and heart be a good experience for all of you. And last, today, may we celebrate the appointment of Katanji Brown-Jackson to the U.S. Supreme Court. She joins a challenged and divided court in a challenged and divided nation. May Justice Brown-Jackson know that she is held in deep respect and compassionate care as she serves on behalf of this nation. For those online, I invite you to share from your heart by entering in the chat. This is a time to share all that you wish, joys and sorrows, and whatever else is shared from your heart. We won't read them out loud today, anticipating there might be a lot of sharing. So let's open our hearts to all that is shared online. And for those in person today, I invite you to come forward if there is something you would like to bring into the community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. We place a stone in the water for all that has been shared online, shared from the heart. And we will place one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. I invite you now into a time of reflection, prayer, and meditation. And the wisdom of the ages is that there are many ways to pray. So today I invite us into an embodied prayer with a blessing adapted from Blessing of the Hands in a Time of Pandemic by the Reverend Linda Susan Ulrich. I invite you to join me in the hand gestures as we experience this blessing. Bless these hands that hold the health of those who come through our doors, and into our lives. Bless these hands that shelter and protect the vulnerable among us. Bless these hands that work to stop the spread of fear as well as the spread of illness. Bless these hands that mirror the love and compassion within each of our hearts. Bless these hands that shimmer with wonder and all the ways that life flows through our bodies. Bless these hands that connect with others, no matter what the distance. Bless these hands that we may stay safe as we labor on behalf of our entire community. Let's hold a moment of silence together.
I invite you to remain seated while we sing together hymn number 1040, Hush. If you're online, you can find the words posted in the chat. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? It sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, it sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling.
Our prayers and meditations deepen our gratitude for what we know is sacred in our lives and in this world. Each Sunday, we express our gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. As a collaboration, we decided that each month our congregation will share our collections during the month of July to the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee Disaster Relief Fund, which responds to the crisis in Ukraine, along with other immediate disasters. When we come together supporting the same organization, we have a greater impact. Here's a video about UUSC's work.
UUSC is an international human rights organization. We're grounded in the principles of Unitarian Universalism and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. At UUSC, we seek to advance human rights, dismantle systems of oppression, and uphold the inherent dignity and worth of every human being.
Founded in 1940, UUSC addresses the needs of people who've been ignored or overlooked, working in places where the larger aid agencies often do not.
We are committed to building upon a legacy that is rooted in locally led initiatives, working hand in hand, eye to eye, and heart to heart with community leaders and grassroots organizations in the United States and around the world.
Today, UUSC has over 30,000 members, partnering with more than 40 grassroots organizations. Our programs span across 20 countries in Asia, the South Pacific, Central America, and the United States.
We do our work in 3 ways: through advocacy and action with UU congregations, UUSC members, and our incredible volunteers, through education and experiences with the UU College of Social Justice, and through grant-making, convenings, and collaborative research.
With our partners, we address human rights issues including disaster justice, emergency relief in the face of natural or human-made crises, climate action, working with communities who are losing their homes due to climate change, and criminalization, partnering with communities who are targeted simply for their activism or being who they are: immigrants, LGBTQ people, and ethnic and religious minorities.
And this past year, we have been working with our grassroots partners to meet the unique human rights challenges presented by the COVID-19 crisis.
We know that UUSC members expect us to always be learning and be bold in our programming and our commitment to human rights.
We want you to have confidence in our work. UUSC is a terrific investment for your philanthropic support. Our budget goes far to accomplish so much for human rights in the U.S. and around the world.
And for 10 years running, UUSC has earned 4 stars, the highest possible rating from Charity Navigator, because of our effectiveness and fiscal transparency.
It is an exciting time at UUSC. We are grateful to you and to all of our members for your partnership and for putting your faith in us. You make our work possible. Thank you.
Thank you, UUSC supporters.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you so much for your support.
And thank you for putting your faith in us.
For all that you do to advance human rights.
We really appreciate it.
We couldn't do the work we do around the world without you.
Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the chat and displayed on the slide, there is information on how to make a donation to your congregation. If you are a visitor, please feel free to donate to a congregation of your choice. May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received.
I've seen the bridge, and the bridge is long, and they build it high, and they build it strong, strong enough to hold the weight of time, long enough to leave some of us behind. and every one of us has to face the day. Do we cross the bridge or do you fade away? And every one of us that ever came to play has to cross the bridge or fade away. Standing on the bridge, looking at the waves, seen so many jump, never seen one saved on a distant beach. Your song can die on a bitter wind, on a cruel tide, and every one of us has to face the day. Do we cross the bridge or do we fade away? And every one of us that ever came to play has to cross the bridge or fade away. And the bridge, it shines all cold, hard iron, saying, come and risk it all, or die trying. And every one of us has to face the day. Do we cross the bridge or do we fade away? And every one of us that ever came to play has to cross the bridge or fade away. Has to cross the bridge or fade away.
Thank you, Troy. And thank you for your generous gifts. Together, we can do more. Our first reading is Equality in a Sea of Inequality by Peggy Clark. When this country was founded, the aspiration was high. The men who imagined it dreamed big, casting a vision of a world where all men were created equal, where rights were endowed by our Creator, transcending culture. It was a radical and new vision born from Enlightenment optimism, inspired by scientific discovery. It was an intoxicating vision, as bold as the Protestant Reformation that swept all of Europe. And they had the hubris to believe they could make it happen. Staked their claim in the Declaration of Independence and institutionalized it in the Constitution. They elected their first president, and when he stepped down, relinquishing power to return to the role of citizens, those founders believed they lived to see their vision realized. A new president ran for office, and the republic was up and running. It was done. A new world order.
Those men weren't distracted by the genocide they inspired or the enslavement of other people they required for this nation to be born. They declared equality while swimming in a sea of inequality. When they declared